But I'm not writing off Shelly-Ann. I want to see somebody beat Paulino.
Blessings, my people, and welcome back to the channel. People, in this video, I'm just going to share with you a video of Otto Boldon basically giving his predictions for the World Championships that will be held in Tokyo. He spoke about the unpaid athletes regarding Grandslam. He spoke about the numerous stuff, people. So, I don't want to stay tuned for that, people. But before I provide you with that video, I'm just asking you for a few favors. Like the video, share to get my content out there. Last but not least, subscribe to the Literal community. That way you will get every video that I post on my channel. So guys, get your popcorns and sit down and watch this live. It's awesome. It's amazing by Otto Boldon. Boldon, let's go.
Cakes, I was saying pancakes. Sorry. I'm not sure, Pie Man 3030, I'm not sure, Rye appreciated as much as I thought he would. I thought he'd get a kick out of it. He was like, yeah, that was cool. I was like, okay. What big three is just big me? I'd been saving that the whole year. Yeah. Do I think Trinidad will produce a quality sprinter like yourself again? Absolutely. There's all kind of talent sitting down there, waiting to get discovered, waiting for the dumbass federation to get out of the way. Do I still train people? Wait till you see who I'm training now. Yes, I still train people. I still train people. Camera, this is the iPhone Pro Max, what, 16? Yeah. No, Pie Man. I thought more than 50%, more than 5% of the viewers got the reference. I got a lot of comments on that one. Because the song was so hot at the time, I think. That's why. I don't call Diamond League because NBC gave up the rights. So Flow Sports has the rights for this year, and I think for next year too. NBC will probably get back to it at some point, probably before the Olympics. Before the Olympics come back, I think we'll get it. So yeah, no, I'm not doing Diamond League anytime soon. I ran Sydney Olympics with your uncle. Who's your uncle? When I close my eyes, what's my best souvenir? My best souvenir? It's not what you would think. This guy gave me pristine tickets from the Atlanta 1996 games. Like from the night of the final, the night of the semifinal. And I just looked at that and I was like, they're not making these anymore. And they, like I said, they're in pristine condition. That's probably my best souvenir. Because I don't know where the over-the-top glasses are. They're long gone. Would NBC televise the World Championships? Yes. As far as I understand it, for Worlds, every round you can watch, every throw, every round, everything you can watch on Peacock, and that'll be World Feed. And then I know for sure that we are not calling anything in the day. So it means that we have all the primetime stuff, all the stuff in the evening. So semis, finals, that's all us. When is the last time I went for a jog? I run every day, Poppy. Every day. I ran today. In fact, I sprinted today. So yeah. Tobago, big up yourself, Tobago. God, that's where I really want to be right now. In Tobago. I want to be in Tobago with like something to drink, an adult beverage to drink, maybe something else, and some. What do I want? What do I want to eat? I want like bacon shark or like something very Tobago. Crab and dumpling, although dumpling's not really my thing. Crab for sure. That's where I would want to be right now. So, big up Tobago. Yes, NBC is NBC stopped showing Diamond League because we had to pay Michael Jordan $80 million to call NBA games, and every network only has a certain amount of you only have a certain amount of money. So, if you're gonna take on NBA and other things like that, you got to give up something. So, they cut Diamond League. Trust me, I enjoy doing Diamond League too. It's not just y'all that are missing Diamond League. I'm missing it too, and it keeps me sharp. Doing a meet or two every week. So yeah, I wish we were doing Diamond League. I will say though, we're not gonna give it up forever. I would expect if I know my company by like 2027, we'll bid for it again. So I don't think Diamond League is gone off of Peacock and NBC completely. I just think it's just gone for a while. It's just gone for a while. No, I was just doing like what did I do? I still try to do like what do y'all call it? Flying bears. I know it is 7 times 100. Basically, start at 0 and go all the way around 100. Walk back 100. Walk back 100. Walk back till you get to 7. That's the thing. Picks for Worlds. The game is to be sold, not to be told. I'm not giving out my picks, but I can tell you that specifically Oblique Seville. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I thought Seville was going to be on the podium in 2022. He wins his heat, his semifinals, and then gets 4th in the final. I thought he was going to medal in 2023. He wins his heat, his semifinal, 4th in the final. I'm like, okay, I'm not picking Oblique anymore. So, of course, last year, his final doesn't go well. And I'm like, yep, see, that's why I'm not picking him. And now I'm watching him like, are 3 people going to beat that? So if you want to pick, my pick is I think Oblique is finally going to figure it out this year. I can't believe I'm saying that because I had sworn I wasn't going to pick Oblique again. But he looks so much better. The thing is that, and I know this is complicated for those of you who don't understand the sprints. A one-off race is not like rounds. It's just not. Well, how come it's not? There's a lot of reasons. Psychologically, going through rounds is just different. So many of y'all forget. Did Noah win his first round in Paris? Did Noah win his semifinal in Paris? He lost to Seville. So how's he the Olympic champion? Because there's a budget that you have to make during rounds. I'm not gonna spend all my energy, not just physically, but emotionally. You spend all your energy emotionally in the rounds, you're done. You're done in the final. I don't care who you are. So if you want to pick, you want to go put some money on somebody who has never won a medal before, I think I'm going to have to put Oblique in my picks. He just looks too good. The question is, who's going to be the world champion? Is Kashane going to figure out that last 30 with that rocking thing that he does? Is Noah going to figure it out in time? That to me is the question. So that's my pick. Races I am most excited to call, easy, 100 hurdles. Because for 2 years I've been saying that record's gone, that record's gone, that record's gone, the record's gone. Record's still there, but they're getting closer. And more of them are getting closer. Stark is close, Visser is close, excuse me, Alicia Johnson is close, and of course Masai is... I gotta see somebody beat Masai. Because there is a saying in show business, never let the understudy get on. And it means don't let that person who's number 2 or number 3 or number 4 or number 8 get on stage. Because they're going to get on that stage and go, I like being the featured player. That's what they've done with Masai. Masai, who took her lumps in college, never won NCAAs, didn't win in 2023. In fact, she fell or had a mishap at Worlds. But then they let her win Olympic trials. And then she won the Olympics. And now she's looking like the dominant hurdler. And I know how fast that track was in Tokyo. And I think maybe in Tokyo, the Olympics could have produced faster times, except there was nobody in the stands. It was like a damn mausoleum. I think the combination of how running in that event this year, plus the crowd is going to be crazy in Tokyo, that's the event I'm looking forward to the most. I think that's the one. And I don't think it's necessarily the hardest to call, because I think Masai is a clear favorite. There are other events where we don't really know, right? Like the men's 400 could be like that. I want to see what Sydney's going to do against Paulino and Eid Nasser. So, no, I mean, I am always going to enjoy going to a World Championships. That is, I spend the other 300 and whatever it is, 50 days getting ready for those 10 days of 355 days, getting ready for those 10 days of Worlds. That's never going to change. I went and did my visa stuff today. Shout out to the Japanese consulate. I'm ready to go. I'm like, I could go to Japan now. Y'all just leave me there and I'll just eat sushi for the next 2 weeks until it's time to actually to get busy. Thank you for getting us through COVID with your lives. What you don't know is that got me through COVID. So thank you for, paying attention during those lives, because that was a tough time. And I'm a loner, but it was almost like, oh, you're a loner? You want to be alone for a whole year? Yeah. Never again. Let's hope. Lishy Greer, God bless the God bless the BBC. Somebody asked me if I'm close with Michael. I don't know that Michael and I are close. I don't know that Michael's close with anybody. But for somebody who was a fierce rival, who I talked a lot of shit back and forth with when he was an athlete, Michael and I are very cool. Let me say this about Michael. I come from a school, UCLA, where the number one rule is we don't pile on. Some of these track and field athletes, look, I understand I don't sweat anybody about their money, because I am somebody who, if you want to piss me off, play with my money. Having said that, there is some real, I don't want to say hypocrisy. This is something that a lot of you may not know. A lot of track athletes spend a lot of time waiting to get paid. I don't know if that's changed. I know enough about the industry to know that a lot of it has not changed. I used to run Lausanne in July, De La Pierre in California. I'm like, Jackie, where's my money? So I think a lot of this, oh my gosh, we haven't gotten paid yet. Look, Grand Slam that's not our proudest moment as a sport. But I will say this about Michael. Everybody talks a good game. Michael went and did something about it. Do I agree with everything Grand Slam did and their approach and pissing off Noah and pissing off field events and pissing off Tara Davis Woodall? No. But at its core, Grand Slam was good for our sport. And the more that it went on, the better it got. I don't have a horse in this race. They didn't hire me as a broadcaster. I went to one event in Miramar because that's the track I consider home. And I had a ball. And I enjoyed watching Kingston, and I really loved watching Philadelphia, which I thought was great. So I see a lot of people like writing off Michael and writing off Grand Slam as though it was the worst thing ever. Look, a sponsor pulled out a whole lot of money. He couldn't have seen that coming. And Grand Slam started in a place it was not supposed to start. So I think my outlook on the whole Grand Slam thing is, I hope they figure it out. I really do. Even if I'm not a part of it, I still hope they figure it out, because I like seeing track and field athletes make $100,000 in a weekend. So all of you people talking about Grand Slam this and Grand Slam that, you got an alternative? What are you doing? So the whole thing with, oh, ain't nobody been paid yet and all that, it's like, okay, I get it. But track and field's a sport where you're going to wait for your money. That's not new. And I think some of the athletes saying that has kind of convinced civilians or fans that, oh my gosh, they ran like 4 months ago and they didn't get paid. That's how the industry is. That's how it's always been. So, no, Michael Johnson and I are not close. But I listen to some of what's going on, and I go, not my business, not getting involved, and nobody asked me. But my personal opinion, now that you ask, is I want to see Grand Slam come back. And all it's going to take is one investor or two or three to say, you know what? I saw it. I think it can be something. And where are the Olympics going to be in 3 years again? Oh, that's right, America. So there is all the incentive. So just be really careful when you see these people kind of dismissing Grand Slam as something that like happened and disappeared and good riddance. It's like, no. Would I like to see the Diamond League start putting a lot more money into their damn prizes? Absolutely. I'd love to see that. But Grand Slam has its place. And I see a lot of people jumping up on these soapboxes to discard something which, were it not for an unforeseen circumstance, been damn good, was headed to, I think, greatness. I want to see what Athlos is coming with, because I think they're going to be good. I trust Alexis. But at the same time, that's a women's only league. So immediately you cut you cut the guys out, which is fine. I enjoyed Athlos last year, and I'm looking forward to the league. But this thing where, Grand Slam was like the worst thing ever, no. I went to it and I watched it and I could see the potential. I like seeing athletes run off events. So if you are one of those who you're writing off Grand Slam, you're by yourself. I'm not joining you with that. So I hope that my dark horses to keep an eye on for Tokyo. That's a great question. Seville's a dark horse. Stark is a dark horse. Neither of them have won medals before. I think they're going to leave medals with medals from Tokyo. Dark horse. The U.S. champion, the 400, Jokori. I don't see three people beating him with as good as he finishes. So he's a dark horse. Y'all can go take this to the better, and then if it doesn't pan out, you can blame me. That's a good question. Dark horse. Seville's thing is psychological. I agree. But I think everybody expects that if you can run a one-off race well, you're automatically good at rounds. Some people have to learn how to run rounds. I had to learn how to run rounds. A lot of other people had to learn how to run rounds. If Kishane wins in Tokyo, you're going to look back at Paris and go, he learned his lesson. Noah got 7th at the Olympic trials in 2021. 2 years later, he was the world champion. He learned how to run 100 rounds. So there is an element. Some athletes, not all, some athletes, they fall into it and their first time they get a medal or they win. Shit, look at Masai. But I will counter that by saying Masai learned how to run rounds at USA's and at NCAA. She paid her dues. Maybe Oblique Seville paying his dues was being 8th and 4th in the last 3 years. Maybe Kishane paying his dues and learning how to run rounds is, I feel like he should have won. He should have won Paris with the lead he had. He should have won Paris. And it's not to slight Noah. Noah ran one of the most technically amazing races, particularly in the last 60. But I think all of us who understand and love the 100, we go, Kishane should have probably won. Maybe last year was him paying his dues. Maybe. Okay, I'm falling way behind here. He will medal this year. I'd rather pick Oblique than Kishane. Okay. Oblique will medal. All right, a lot of people showing love for countries do their nationals at different times. Hey, you got to ask these federations. I gave my dark horses already. Noah's going to peak at the right moment. One thing you know for sure, when that gun goes off in the final, win, lose, or draw, you're going to get Noah's best effort. It's why he's the world and Olympic champion in the 100. So, Gout in the rounds, I could see Gout making the final. But I think realistically, look, how old is this kid? If he only got to the semifinal, would anybody consider that a failure? How many rounds did Usain Bolt get through in his first Olympics? You gotta learn how to run rounds. You gotta pay your dues in this sport sometimes. I think Noah figures it out in the semis like he did in Budapest. Yep. Australia had their nationals in April. Well, you guys can have your nationals now because do I remember running with Alessandro Cavallaro in the Sydney Olympics? Nope. Any Trinidad athletes you think will medal in Worlds? I don't think it's out of the question that Jareem medals. I've been paying attention to Kishorn. Kishorn looks the best that I've seen him maybe since Rio. Now that event, it's harder to medal in the javelin than it was when he medaled the last time in 2016, and certainly more than when he medaled in 2012. But I don't think, look, Trinidad and Tobago has no relays going to Worlds. I repeat, Trinidad and Tobago has no freaking relays, 4x1 or 4x4, going to Worlds. So that's a source of like real depression for me. Meanwhile, the head of the federation is in the paper today saying, we need relay focus. Oh, you need relay focus now. 10 years ago when we had a women's team that had just won their first medal, and I was saying, make a plan, let's have relay camps and all that stuff. They didn't want to hear it. Now he wants to talk about relay focus. Miss me with that bullshit. Anyway. The Trinidad athletes, I think, can medal at Worlds. Kishorn can medal in the javelin. And Jareem, if he run the way he ran last year, I don't think it's a year where you have to run 43 low to medal in the 400. I think you can win Worlds this year 43.9, maybe even 44 flat. Everybody forgets. Last year was kind of an anomaly. Go back and look at what won Worlds in 2023 and what Michael Norman ran to win Worlds in 2022. Because it was 44 low. Jareem can run that. So, any Trinidad athletes I think can medal at Worlds, those are the two. 100-meter hurdles is crazy. Yes, yes, yes. Walcott only got a chance, and he'll probably be top 7. I gave him a no Sanya. Sanya's not coming to Worlds. It's the first time since 2016 I'm doing a major by myself for the sprints. Her son is too young. Her son was born in July. So I think it's a bit much because she has 2 other young sons to bring all of them over. So no Sanya at Worlds. I know a lot of you guys like the pairing, and I do too. You know, when I have Sanya, I have less work to do. I'm a chatty loner. Yeah. That's why I have to type shit. That's why I have to type shit on the internet and piss people off. What advice can you give an athlete from the Caribbean competing in college for? Be honest with your coach. I think a lot of athletes, and I know the transfer portal has changed the game. I think a lot of Caribbean athletes, because they have a different relationship with authority, they go to a big school or, a school in the States and they think, well, I'm just going to shut my mouth and keep my head down and do what I have to do. And the problem with that is sometimes you're hurting a little bit more than you want to admit, or you are more fatigued than you want to admit, and you're going to be on the way to an injury or on the way to a burnout because you kept quiet. Be honest with your coach. A coach is going to respect you more if you come to him and say, Coach, I know blah, 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 but I have this thing that I feel like I need to address. Because of the transfer portal, coaches don't have the power they used to. The balance of power has swung back to the athlete. So as a result, I think you can be more honest with your coach so that your needs are protected. And it's not just all about the team and points and conference and NCAAs. That would be my advice, because that's some of what I've seen. In the past. Grandslam was dope. Yes. Oblique fears Kishane. Noah fears no one. That's why Oblique runs different when he runs against Noah versus Kishane. It's a love-fear triangle. Read this. I don't disagree. I do not disagree with that. I remember, and the Jamaicans in the chat can confirm this for me. I remember last year before, 2023, my Jamaican friends were saying that in Jamaica, the thinking was that Shericka, she ain't afraid of nobody, but she doesn't run as well when she runs against Sha'Carri. I think Sha'Carri is the only person that's a winning record in the 100 against Shericka. I would have to look it up. I like your, Aaron, I like your theory there, because I've never seen Oblique run and look like Oblique against Kishane. And I think Kashane runs differently against Noah. So it's not the kind of theory I would use on air, because it's kind of a hypothesis, but we'll see. We'll see how it looks. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow, you guys are way ahead of me. Grand Slam in Miami was great. What is your opinion on how they are baby coddling Gout Gout? Listen, I don't think there is any one recipe to get somebody from juniors to seniors. So if that's how they think it's best to bring him along, then that's what they think. And I see people chirping and saying, he's ducking and he's hiding. And I can make the other case that sometimes you drop a young talent in with people who can fricassee them, and that can kill their confidence. So what exactly are we mad at with Gout Gout? It's like, let him come along the way his people think he should be brought along. I don't have a criticism of that. I'm like, look, I could point you to a million different athletes who they didn't make that big jump in a way that all the fans would expect. Put him in there with the big guys. I saw somebody say, it's not like he's gonna get hit in the mouth. That's a physical harm. When you are I was a world under 20 champion in 2 events. When you step into the pros and you put your foot on your accelerator, and people are still pulling away from you, it can mess with your head. So if they want to bring Gout along slowly to the point where they're like, look, we want when he goes for his max, it's competitive and people aren't blowing him out, then that's okay. It really is. I know the fans are like, nah, put him in there. We want to see how he matches up. There's time for that. He's young. So have a little patience with the young kid, because you guys will be the same one saying, man, he had all that hype and he didn't turn into anything. Let his handlers and his managers and his coach bring him along the way that he wants to be brought along. Please. I know we have a lot of expert fans who know everything about everything. All right, I'm trying to catch up. They can't hold his hands in Tokyo. Okay, yeah. I like Grand Slam. I feel like Grand Slam gave MJW the confidence to run the 200 at Worlds. You know what? That's a good theory. And it was during Grand Slam and how dominant she was. But the truth is, if we're being honest, and I give Grand Slam a lot of credit, I just did. But Melissa was looking good this year from the jump. So whether that was in China or in the Bahamas or in Bermuda or in Miramar, Melissa Jefferson Wooden was going to be kicking ass this year. And I find it very funny that, I say stuff sometimes, and look, my job is not predicting. I know you guys like me to predict. My job is not predicting. My job is actually to call balls and strikes. It's like, this is what I see, this is what I think is going to happen. But it's really not a prediction. NBC don't give a shit if I make a prediction. When you hear me say something like that on the air, it's because I believe it. It's because I've watched freaking 30 hours of film on somebody, and I go, oh, no, this is different. Like Julian Alfred last year. This year, I was on CBC, on Canadian television, and they said, so, what about Sha'Carri? And I said, look, as long as Sha'Carri's starting like that, she's not winning anything this year. Well, boy, everybody got pissed off. Nah, you goddamn hater. You always hating on Sha'Carri. I have no horse in this race. I don't get a cent more if my prediction comes true or if it's completely wrong. It is literally what I am telling you based on my somewhat educated opinion. How's that Sha'Carri prediction looking now? I also said the only person I think can beat Melissa in Tokyo, I said this 2 months ago, is Julian Alfred. How's that looking right now? And in fact, I think they're going to split. Because I think if you put a gun to my head and made me make a pick right now, I would say Melissa in the 100 and Julian in the deuce. And I know you guys go, Julian in the deuce? Yeah, Julian in the deuce. She has a faster PR. She has more experience in the deuce. And if she loses the 100 to Melissa, she is going to be pissed off. She was pissed off at Pre and she lost by a lean. What do you think she's going to be if she's the Olympic champion and she loses to Melissa in the 100 in Tokyo? She's going to be pissed. So I think right now that would be my pick. My pick would be Melissa in the 100, although I believe they have the kind of similar race patterns where if they ran 10 times, it would be 6-4 or 5-5. It would not be 10-0. No. So, I am not a predictor, and that is not but when I am on a show, that's what people are going to ask me. It's like, so what do you think? Anyway, I want to make this other point. So I get exactly what I want to say. I remember a couple of years ago being in Eugene, Oregon. And there was something, look, our schedule is set a long way in advance. So that weekend, it wasn't Olympic trials, it was a U.S. Nationals. And there were a couple athletes chirping, NBC is ruining the sport. How is NBC ruining the sport? Because we're not even on NBC, we're on CNBC, whatever. It was like the women's, the U.S. Open for golf. That beats track and field on television. That's a ratings decision. And I watched all these athletes who have no idea how TV works or how their federation gets track and field on TV. NBC's ruining the sport. You know what's ruining the sport? People getting arrested. And people taking shots at each other subliminally on social media. Stop it. I know some of you athletes feel like, this is our sport. It's your sport now. There's a generation coming after you. Don't burn the house to the ground because you can't stop acting a damn fool. Okay, let's move on. And listen, I am very outspoken. I am not going to tell an athlete, don't type what you want. I'm just saying, sometimes you got to think about the greater good. And I get it. I used to take shots at other athletes, but there's a level. And I see some shots being taken, and I'm like, hey. At the end of the day, everybody's watching. Is that making the sport better? Is that bringing more eyes to the sport? Because I don't think it is. So it's not like athletes should shut up. That's not what I'm saying. But it's like, in the same way that I type stuff and I go, delete that. It's not worth it. Think before you push send. Because there's got to be a sport here after you're done. That's all. All right, I'm trying to catch up. My bad. Oh, wow, I caught up with everything. You were the first I heard said Alpha. Yeah, if you paid attention to Julian, do I see Shericka earning a 200-meter medal? When I say stuff, people get pissed off. Oh, well. Of course Shericka can medal, but I believe Shericka's lost a step. It's like me being on Let's Run. Listen, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price is my favorite track and field athlete of all time. Of all time. Yes, ahead of Bolt. Elaine Thompson to me is easily in my top 3 sprinters ever. And yet, if I'm on a show and somebody says, hey, I'll give you an example. Last year I'm on Let'sRun.com's show. Hey, Otto, what do you expect for Jamaica this year? Well, the big 3 is not really what it's supposed to be. I think Jamaicans have to temper their expectations on how their medal count is going to be. This bomber-clad idiot Trinidad, it's like, whoa! You want to be considered a real sport, but people can't have opinions? How many medals did the big 3 get last year in Paris? So are you mad at me because I said it, or are you mad at me because I might be right? So then fast forward. Hey, what do you think? What are your prospects? What do you think Elaine's going to do? I said, I think Elaine is done. I think Elaine is done being a medalist, being a contender. The vitriol, everybody's pissed off. Is it because I'm Trini that you're pissed off? Or is it because I might be right? If I can run 10-4 next year, I'll be the happiest man. But when I was asked the question, that was my opinion. So I don't understand what what people get pissed off about. So to get back to your question, do I see Shericka earning a 200-meter medal? I can't completely count out somebody who has run 21-4. I can't. That would be stupid. But I think Shericka's lost a step. Do I think Shericka's a 21-4, 21-5 sprinter anymore? No. No. And it's okay. Look at the career she's had. She has more 21-4s than anybody. Now, I know that that's going to piss off the Shericka fans because the one thing she does not have is the thing that she wants. And she's talked about it on the sprint documentary. She wants a 200-meter Olympic gold. But she's going to have to wait 3 years for that. And she's already, what, 30? Listen, this is sports. You don't always get to put a pretty bow on it. Doesn't happen that way. Not for track, not for soccer, not for NBA, nothing. Sometimes the shit just happens. Look at Usain Bolt's last race. How many of you were watching at home when Usain took to those blocks against Justin Gatlin and Christian Coleman and going, come on, Usain, just give us one more. Certainly everybody in that London stadium was thinking that. And at the end of it, he was third. And he went, okay, third, he's on the podium. Great job, we've enjoyed him. Oh yeah, the relay. We get to see him one last time. And he pulled up. That's how sports is sometimes. Shit sucks. Would I love to see Shericka? She's earned it. Shericka should be an Olympic gold medalist. And maybe she'll get there in 3 years. But I don't know. I don't know if I can. You can't look at the emergence of Julian, the emergence of Melissa. I don't think Gabby's going anywhere. She's kind of right in her peak now and say, oh yeah, in 3 years, it's going to be hard. It's going to be extremely difficult. So Shericka is an outside chance of a medal, if I'm being honest. All right, hold on. Let me catch up. What would happen if somebody had pushed Linford at the end of a race? That's funny. That's funny, drone shot. I didn't push Linford. Linford and I had a discussion. I was about up to his chest. What if Ja'Cory Patterson? Would it be a shocker? No. You must be late, Aaron, because when somebody asked the dark horse question, that's the answer I gave. The U.S. champion this year. He is finishing so well. Think back to Paris. The guy with the best finish won the race. Quincy Hall. So to me, I expect the usual contenders to be there. Karani's looking good. I expect Jareen to be there. There's going to be a bunch of guys. The British guys are looking good, right? But if you have that magical finish, you could be the world champion. Think of oh man, I'm forgetting her name. University of Oregon Duck 2017 world champion when everybody thought Allison was going to win. I think it's that kind of year in the men's four. She's also, I believe she's also the University of Oregon's only sprint champion. Look it up. Okay, I'm catching up. Anson Henry says, unfortunately, Shericka won't medal. Okay, so Jamaica, you can get pissed off at Anson Henry, who, by the way, is Jamaican, so he's being extremely disloyal by saying that Shericka won't medal. And Anson Henry's takes are always crazy, and he may actually have this one right. I'm not ready to... Shericka can run rounds, and that's why I say she's an outside chance. That's why I won't say that she does. What happened to Ariane? Ariane has other problems. Feel so bad for Talu. Hey, don't feel bad for Talu, because to me, that bronze medal in Tokyo is between Talu, Clayton twin, Shelly-Ann. Shelly-Ann's got... I didn't like what I saw from Shelly-Ann in Poland, but I'm not writing off Shelly-Ann. Shelly-Ann, Shericka. To me, there's a bunch of people who, if they have a crazy good final in Tokyo, that bronze could be theirs. So don't feel bad for Talu. That could happen. That could happen. I wouldn't. Phyllis Francis, thank you, Batman. Shout out to Batman, world champion 2005 in the 400-meter hurdles. Quincy Hall is injured. As I said, Ariane has bigger problems. Big question to start drama. Paulino versus Sydney versus, dare I say, Nasser. I think... I want to see somebody beat Paulino. That's all I'll say. Remember what I was saying 5 minutes ago about who has the best finish? Eid Nasser and Sydney, and they're even. Who you betting your house on? Be honest. Who you betting your house on? Because I think right there I'm betting Paulino. Eid Nasser, we know she's gonna try to have a lead at 300 and hold off Paulino and hold off Sydney or whoever else. Claver, or I don't know that Claver is looking like a medalist this year. I think the medalist for the 400 meters is decided. But it goes back to what I said about the men. If you have a special kind of finish, you're going to be Olympic and world champion. Paulino's already Olympic and world champion. I think to beat Paulino, you're gonna have to run 48 low. So good luck with that. So I guess I'm kind of giving out twin turbo Clayton. Let me say this about the Clayton twins. They have a knack for rattling off an insane start. Both of them. I've seen them both do it. They have a knack for a crazy start when the pressure is on. That can be dangerous. I mean, like silver medal dangerous. Yeah, I said it. So, I think all of us, and this is what 20 years of doing this for a living has taught me. Yes, you think you know exactly what's going to happen. There's a reason why they race. And shit happens and unexpected things happen. So yeah, I think everybody's like, yeah, I know who the two medalists are going to be. The first two across the line. Tina Clayton is dangerous enough in a final. Look, she's a Jamaican national champion. That's not nothing. She beat Shelly-Ann and Shericka at her nationals. The two of them with that coach, if you put a gun to my head, I think that's the one. I think that's the one that I go, give me the Clayton. Give me the Clayton girl. Because she's gonna have one of them crazy ass now, they're young, shit can go wrong, they gotta pay their dues. But I would not be surprised if Jamaica gets a medal in the women's 100. It would not shock me. And it would not shock me if it's not Shericka. That's all I'm going to say. You can quote me on that. Yes, I know Talu has a silver medal from 2017. I'm not throwing the answer under the bridge. He put it in the chat for everybody to see. Paulie always doesn't know how she does it. Yeah? Depends on the day for Nasser. You're right, because in Doha, Sydney is winning the 400 meters in Tokyo. Okay, Anson Henry. 47.99. Yeah, it might take that long. 47 to beat Paulino. Tina Clayton is great at rounds. She reminds me of Shelly. That's a very, very good point. And that's exactly the point I was making. I don't know if she's as good as Shelly was at that age. You guys may have forgotten that Shelly-Ann demolished that field in 2008. And then had a close race in 2009 and still won. So I don't know if I want to put any of the Clayton twins, either of the Clayton twins, in that kind of Shelly, and they're about the same age, yeah. I don't know if I want to put them in that category just yet, but yes, could they upset the whole damn thing and win some Jamaican a whole bunch of money that bet on them? Yeah, I think they could. A big part of it is who can run the best rounds. Absolutely. Will a thing compete at Worlds? No. No. Shelly ready when it counts. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Can Cordell Tinch break the world record in the 110? Not this year. And he might prove me wrong. It's not like he hasn't run 12.8. 12.8 lows the record. He's already run 12.8. I think he has to get a little better technically. I'm worried about Grant, if I'm being honest. And Grant has literally never lost at a world championships. Not indoors, not out. And I'm worried about Grant. I am. And y'all know that's my boy. I'm worried about Grant. But I also know Grant's a 7-time world champion for a reason. He figures it out. And he only needs one. And he has kind of been using the season to get ready for September. So that's a race that's going to be good because I think Cordell thinks he has Grant. And I think Grant thinks, yeah, Cordell, I want you to think you have me. There's a reason why I'm the Olympic champion and an indoor and outdoor world champion 7 times over. Who you got? Rye, we're home. Huh. Batman, not a surprise that you're bringing up the 400 hurdles. I think you may have to run under 46 to win. And the last time you did under 46 to win the 400-meter hurdles is Tokyo 4 years ago. Was it just me, or did Karsten Warholm look like Karsten Warholm 2021 in that last race he won? Because he looked like it to me. And Rye's not stupid. Rye's calculating. Rye has been saying on NBC for the whole season, 46 high ain't gonna get it done. 46 mid ain't gonna get it done. If you made me pick right now, I find it hard to pick against Karsten. And I know that I've said on NBC, I think Rye has figured it out. He's gonna have to prove that he can beat this Karsten, because Karsten is coming in a way that I have not seen him look since the Olympics. I would not be surprised to see that world record fall again, because I think Rye's ready for Karsten, and I think Karsten's ready for Rye in a way where it's like, look, they're both Olympic champions now. It's like, yeah, I've beaten you, you've beaten me, and yeah, Karsten still has the head-to-head, and he's got more titles, and he's got the world record, but Rye is coming for Karsten, and Karsten is coming for Rye. And I know Dos Santos is usually a part of the big three, but I think the two of them are going to be separated from Dos Santos. So yeah, those 400-meter hurdles. Okay, Batman, hey, that's your event. If you tell me don't sleep on Dos Santos, okay, my bad. I'm sleeping on Dos Santos. But I feel like if the race needs a 46 flat, 45.9 to win, I haven't seen Dos Santos go there yet. I know he's gotten close, but hey, that's your event. That's your event. Excuse me. It's a long shot, but if Shelly won the 100 this season and then retired, would she surpass Usain as the overall GOAT? No. And I don't know if you were on, Anson, but I just confessed. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price is my favorite track and field athlete of all time. The reason why she can't be Usain is because, for better or for worse, and we all know the situation, Shelly-Ann has never had a world record, and she's not even the second best in either of her events. Bolt is the absolute undisputed best in 2 events, and nobody's been really close to his world record. So to me, that puts him. I remember you guys giving me shit for when I did my Mount Rushmore and I didn't include Bolt. I'm like, no, I'm not putting Bolt on Mount Rushmore next to Carl or next to whoever you think should be on Mount Rushmore. He's separate. He's different. He's separate from everybody else. So I'm not putting him next to 3 other people. Anyway, Sha'Carri medaling in the 100 meters is a long shot. More than Allison Felix? Absolutely. And and Allison is definitely my top 10, 5. Yeah, absolutely. Allison has not done what Shelly-Ann did, and I think Allison would admit that to you if you asked her. You guys understand you guys understand that Shelly-Ann has 5 freaking world titles in the 100? Not even Bolt has that. No, Shelly-Ann, that girl's a Capricorn. She's different. And that's to go with her back-to-back Olympic goals. How many women have back-to-back Olympic goals in the 100? 80 billion people in the history of the planet. 3 of them have gone back-to-back. Elaine, Shelly, Wyomia Tice. Excuse me, 4. And Gail Devers. My bad. I'm forgetting the Bruin. Only 4. It's 4 now because of Elaine. But going back-to-back. That's not normal. And we all love Allison, and Allison has had a phenomenal career. And Allison ain't do that. Allison didn't go back-to-back. No. So yeah, I hope that answers. I hope that answers your question. Mixed relays. The mixed relay will make its debut next year at the World Ultimate Championship. But when I'm debut, like championship debut, I know we had it at the World Relays. I don't mind the mixed relays. Why are we mandating what order everybody should run? What's the purpose of that? I have a team where I want to run I have a great leadoff. I want to run Melissa first and Noah last. Why are you saying that I can't? Why do I have to follow the order that World Athletics says? I don't have a problem with mixed relays. My thing has always been, why are we mandating what leg runs, what sex runs what leg? Why? So then you get male versus male, female versus female. Well, we already have that in the 4x1. I don't know.